Hello, everyone. Welcome to At Home with Karen. With me today is attorney David Greiner of Greiner Law Corporation. Thank you for sparing us a few minutes of your time and welcome to the show.
Thanks.
How long have you been a practicing lawyer and what made you decide to become one?
I graduated from law school in 2003 and passed the bar in August of 2003.
Okay.
And then I was working quite a bit in a family business and did some law, but not extensively until 2015 when I started practicing more and then exclusively practicing since 2020.
Okay. All right. Okay. And what services does your office offer?
Primarily, we do real estate, trusts, probate, and we do business formation and buy-sells primarily. We do some litigation, but most of our litigation is around either real estate or contracts.
Okay. All right. And then you were at the office a few months ago. You were at the Coldwell Banker Victorville office, and then you talk about trust. So I know your company offers a lot of services. So we're just gonna zone in on trust.
Trust, sure.
Yeah. So can you give us, because I know a lot of people don't know about it until it's time to face the music, and then they have some issues that they have to take care of, right? Real estate wise. In a layman's term, what is a trust, and how important is it to have one or to not have one?
Okay, so in layman's terms, the concept of trust is a really, really old theory, and it's based on this. If I said to you, hey, hold this coaster, and what I want you to do is you hold that coaster for me, I'm going off on a far voyage, and if I don't return, give it to George, but if I do return, give it back.
Okay, there you go.
The point of trust is that we know there's two beneficiaries, me or George, depending on what happens.
Okay.
But one thing's certain, you don't own it.
Okay.
And that's the concept of trust, is holding something for the benefit of another. And in California, the concept was tested in the 1940s that what if I made an agreement where I gave my property to myself as trustee for my own benefit. As long as I gave that away, would I have to go to probate? And the answer is no. You don't have to go to probate if the property isn't yours. So the trust agreement is essentially an agreement to hold property in trust for the benefit of others. And it avoids probate if the assets are titled in that trust.
Okay. And then I know a lot of people who probably have owned their properties in a while probably don't have it in their trust, right? And just for an average individual, let's say they're thinking of getting one, especially for older homeowners, right? And they're like, oh, I just want to make sure that my kids are taken care of, that they don't have to deal with this headache. What does your office charge? Like at a minimum, like an average individual who owns a home and then, a few personal belongings.
They're pretty standard. So we charge $1,900 for a trust. That would include the trust. It would include your power of attorney for, healthcare, your power of attorney for financial, a HIP authorization, and we'll do the deeds for 2 properties for that price.
Okay.
And we'll take them to the recorder's office so that it's all buttoned up. So that's what we generally charge.
Okay. And do you normally change? Because I know in between you can do some changes, right? Let's say, for example, you decided you don't want this person to be the executor anymore. Do you charge like an extra amount or an extra charge for making some changes on the trust, or not necessarily?
So our process, first of all, our process is that you meet with us. I kind of explain the general stuff, give you a worksheet. You complete the worksheet, you turn it in, and then we send you a draft.
Okay.
And then you can correct the draft as many times as you want.
Okay.
And once you're done, then we set you for a signing. And hopefully we've got it right. If you need to change something like, hey, I want to change trustees or something along those lines, those are usually very minimal cost.
Okay. And then so for people who's let's be honest, the economy nowadays is really, really hard, just to make ends meet. And for people who are thinking, okay, $1,900 is still a lot of money.
Yep,
How much does it cost to not have one? Let's say, for example, parents who passed and now the kids have to deal with it. If the property wasn't in a trust, obviously it has to go through probate. How much does it cost? I'm sure it, I know the attorney's fees and all that goes by percentage. Just give us like a ratio between the $1,900 and what cost is it going to cost these kids to go through probate?
So let's say the family owned a house
Yes.
and nothing else of substantial value, just a regular old house.
Yes.
What's a house cost up here right now?
400 average.
400. So in that case, we get 4% of the first 100, 3% of the next, 2% of the next, and 2% of the next. So that would cost in your administration fees just by the statute. It can't go up or down. So if you don't like David Greiner and go somewhere else, it'd be the same.
It will be the same, correct?
It's 11,000.
Okay, so it's even still cheaper to set up a trust,
Right. But you know, yeah, I do have clients like, I don't care. When I'm dead, my kids can pay for it. But the point is, it'd be 11,000, and then your fees generally for that, just your court costs, probate referee, publication fees, they usually come in around 1,800. So figure 12,800 to do it.
So it's really better to put the property in a trust.
Yeah, I guess if you, as long as you have, you know, the means to do it.
Okay, being in the business for a while, right? Practicing law full time, I'm sure day in and day out, you deal with these cases, and you know every scenario that you handle or every lawsuit that you handle is different. What does a downtime look like for David Greiner?
Well,
or do you even have one?
Downtime? There's not too much downtime these days right now, but you know, like our Fridays are maybe the days that we do research, or we in the office, or we talk about our cases, or possibly, you know, help anybody out. There's 4 attorneys here, so help anybody out who's having trouble with something. We all can sit down and kind of visit about those things. So when we're not actively doing it, like right now, there's 2 attorneys in court today, and then me and the other attorney go to court this afternoon. It's busy Monday through Thursday. Hopefully Friday we can reconnect, see what needs to be done, because we have 202 active cases right now. We have to manage. Yeah,
that's a lot. How long does that usually span? Like from one, like a typical case, how long does that usually last?
So like I have a buy-sell right now that we'll be wrapping up that we were able to complete in relatively short time. And then we have some cases that have been going on for 3 years. And they're just kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're talking about a downtime as far as work, but what does a downtime look like for you family-wise?
Oh.
Like what do you do?
I play golf a lot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. That wraps our interview. Thank you so much, attorney, for sparing us a few minutes of your time. And until next time.
Thank you.